Hi guys. Hi Sulaksh.
Hello, hi Mahesh. Good afternoon. I
Very
hope
good
you're
afternoon.
doing
How are
well.
you doing?
I'm also doing well, and we're all eagerly waiting to hear from you and get a masterclass on design thinking.
Right.
Without further ado, I would request you to have an introduction for yourself in case you haven't ready.
Right. So I shall start. Okay. Good to go.
Yes, yes, we're good to go.
Great. Hello guys, and welcome to the sprint session of design thinking. And I call it sprint because I'm solving a problem here, right? I usually do these sessions across 5 hours or 6 hours, and I was told to give a brief idea on design thinking in 1 hour. Okay. So I put it a challenge, and let's see if I'm able to solve it. Okay, here we go. Let's start. Who are you with? Myself, Mahesh Shinde. I'm a retail consultant by profession, and I'm also a certified master practitioner. Okay, I have 18 years of experience. It's almost 19 and a half now. Okay, and I've been engaged with a lot of clients. You see those L'Oreal, Sephora, Nykaa, Mattel Toys, and it's been mass, it's been luxury, it's been tobacco, alcohol, toys, insurance, and all these guys whom I have been able to successfully give some design solutions for retail, for customer experience. And now, since data analytics is really taking over, e-com is really taking over, I'm also venturing into retail analytics. Okay, so let's proceed because there is paucity of time. We move forward. What's in it for you?
Okay, my just before we start, I would just like to remind our audience of what all we'll be covering. As Mahesh has already mentioned, that it's a smaller session, so we won't be going very deep into the whole concept of design thinking. We'll be
Right.
discussing what is design. We'll be discussing the need for design thinking.
Yes.
Mahesh will be taking us through the traditional versus design thinking approach of problem solving. Then he will give us a quick overview on the 5 stages of design thinking. And he will also let us know of something that is an essential part of design thinking, which is storytelling, and what it actually means and how you can actually get better at it. So,
Right.
okay, Mahesh, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Yes, so we will try to cover as much as possible. And that's the agenda which Sulaksh just now spoke to y'all about. And before starting, I believe y'all are from various backgrounds, academic backgrounds. So what's in it for you is important. Before you start the session, y'all have taken this time. Uh, and here is a little bit about it. Okay. Design thinking will give you a holistic approach. Okay. Whatever you do tomorrow, if you're in finance, if you are in science, if you are in automobile, you are in AI, okay, everything has an undercurrent of design thinking that you can use. You will understand as we progress, okay, and then later on, if you choose to learn more, you will definitely relate to it, right? Competitive advantage. I always tell people that it's nice to be brave, when you're going on a war, but it's always helps if you have more weapons, right? So knowing a new skill or having more knowledge always helps. Okay, it opens new doors. You can get prepared for leadership roles. So if you're already working, you're moving to the next role. As you go higher in the hierarchies, you need certain skill sets, right? Design thinking is one of them because it applies seamlessly. That's the beauty of it. It applies seamlessly across any function. Okay. You can take up lectures. Recently, CBSE board has announced that 11th standard will be having a DT class, which is an opportunity, for all of us, whoever likes teaching. Apart from that, you have a business, or you want to already apply a running business or a new business, you can apply DT methodologies, sorry, and then validate your idea with DT. This is important because we all have ideas. So this is a good matrix to take on a pen and paper and put your idea down and try to make it to the next level. Okay, a lot of ideas die otherwise. We move forward. You've already seen the agenda. Let's not spend too much of time here and start. Usually this design thinking discussion of mine or webinar is quite interactive. Okay, what I'll try to do is we will try to make it as much fun possible, as much a little bit interactive for today. Okay, so what is design? Steve Jobs, the guy, right, of innovation. A great product isn't just a collection of features, it's how it all works together. Okay, so let me clarify first for people who think design is art, design is creating a 3D model or creating a sketch or being creative and artistic. No, design is in everything. Design is how everything works. If you're having a sip of water, how the bottle opens up. Okay, if you're writing with a pen, how it writes, how it clicks, how it has a grip to hold better. The whole experience while using the product is what a design is. Okay, design satisfies a need. People pay to satisfy a need. People pay to get a job done. Okay, so recognizing the need is the primary condition for design. We have to work on something which will solve a problem, right? Solve a need. Okay, and ultimately design is nothing but innovation today. When people talk about innovation in this decade, they actually mean design. Okay, let's move forward. That I have quickly established that design is nothing but equivalent to innovation today. Let's have a look at some innovations. Okay, here. So this is an interactive exercise that I do. Probably we'll do it in future when we attend together or have a webinar together. But so this is a mop. Okay, it's called Swiffer by P&G, and it actually looks like a Gillette, right? A shaving blade, and it works like that. P&G was already in the detergent market, into the cleaning agents, but they realized that they need to solve the problem more and understand what are the challenges around mopping. Okay, and then they realized that during mopping, they visited a lot of people, a lot of families, a lot of places. 50% of the time went for mopping. The other 50% went in cleaning the mop. And that is where they realized that they could actually create something where you can wrap around the cloth part and then just remove it and change it and then wash it later. So what have they designed? They have designed convenience, comfort. Okay, so this design is around convenience and comfort. Even today, I think so, I had seen it. You see in few of the malls, you'll actually see it. It helps you mop faster, right? I am moving fast forward. Airbnb, everybody knows Airbnb. What is Airbnb designed around? It's very interesting. What is Airbnb? I'll tell you. Airbnb is where, if I was to take a place, okay, a stranger will go to a place which is going to be given by another set of stranger because some strangers validated it on the website and gave good reviews. So there are three sets of strangers who believe each other and then execute their need on Airbnb. Fantastic, right? Airbnb is like, I think, a 40 billion company now. So Airbnb is actually designed around trust. That trust drops, Airbnb is gone. Okay, so that is what I'm giving you varied examples because that is how you need to understand design. Okay, Netflix innovated and moved towards on-demand content. From there, on-demand videos rather. Okay, then from there they move towards their content. They realize that content is where the innovation lies and where the more subscriptions come in from. Okay, today they spend 7 billion or 6 billion in R&D. Only 1 billion is in technology. The remaining 6 billion is on content. Okay, another few examples. Do you know Netflix socks? SOCKS. Netflix socks is actually, you can wear them, and if you happen to see a Netflix episode on your screen, it is connected, and if you sleep, the video pauses, the episode pauses. In India, we use phone mostly, so maybe not relevant yet, but abroad, everybody uses the TV for it, right? There's something called Netflix commitment rings. When a couple has to watch a serial together, an episode together, you have to wear those rings. Otherwise, you can't watch it alone. It's interesting innovations. There is no end to this, okay? I have picked up very select for this presentation. And there we are. Let's move forward. Now that you have understood innovation, that you have understood design a little bit, okay? Quickly, I'm going to ask you to have a look at the next few slides, and I'm going to get off my screen and go to the chat, or rather I will see in my chat what you'll have typed. Have a look and tell me.
Sure,
Okay?
sure. I'll also help you with some of the answers that people get.
Yes. Okay.
Sure.
Education. Okay. Have a look at the slide. Manufacturing. Shopping, browsing, different apps. Healthcare. Finance. Automobile. Gaming. So tell me, people, quick on the chat. I'm going to see it on my phone. What did you
Guys,
see?
come on, join us in the chat, and I'll read out the most interesting
One word.
answers.
What was common to all the slides? Yes. One word. What did you all see?
I think we'll have to wait for 5-10 seconds because the stream lag is there on YouTube.
Okay. Just now I saw.
They're
But
they're just getting
okay.
to know.
Understood. Yeah, I saw the screen. Yeah. So I hope they got to see the slides, all the slides.
So people are saying technology, people are saying innovation. One unique answer I just read was consumer needs. But
Yes.
I think we are mostly
Think tech.
focused on technology and innovation. Is the
Right.
digitization? I saw digitization somewhere, so that's also interesting.
Brilliant, brilliant. So that is what it is. What I'm here to tell you all and explain to you all that what you all should have seen is people, the users. And I think one guy said user, bingo.
Yeah, one guy said user.
Bingo. I'll congratulate him separately. Okay. So nice. Yeah. So users, right? So everything exists around users and users' needs. And that is how I started the presentation, that if we have to innovate, if we have to produce anything, if we have to give any service, anything, there has to be a consumer, a user who will use it, who will find value in it. And that is why your innovation exists, right? And these are happy guys that I've found out on the net. Let's move forward. Okay. So that is why what I'm going to say is your core skill set. Okay. You're an accounts guy, you're a finance guy, you're an engineer, you're a doctor, medical, you're a trainer, you're a teacher, you're a homemaker also. Okay. I've been using design thinking skills in my last 2 months at home. Okay. So that plus GT, okay, is the future of innovation. And you all are actually, it's an additional, what can I say, skill set, okay, that you all can acquire. You all are design thinkers. It's about exploring it, okay. It's about challenging it and coming out with it. My other presentations or my other webinars, usually we do some exercises. We will discuss that later. And there we actually try to build your creative confidence, because everybody is creative. Okay, let's move forward. DT applications is a small video about what various DT applications are. I'm sorry I can't play this due to paucity of time and because of the network, I suppose. Let's move.
It's okay, guys. We have a surprise for you at the end of the webinar. So in case you missed out on any content or you would like to know more, we'll be letting you know how you can get in touch with Mahesh and how you can learn more about the topic.
Right. Okay. So quickly I move towards why. Why is design thinking so important today, right? It's the buzzword, and that is why all of y'all are here. Okay. Here, because innovation is the only survival strategy, right? And Apple, everybody knows Apple. They have, showed us again and again why innovation works, right? In this video, we're not able to see the video, but there is one single line which is really hitting hard. The guy says, why are the kids in the garages able to beat the big guys, the big corporates today? Because they're innovating, because they're understanding the user better. So innovation is the only survival strategy. Users always need new choices. A pure technocentric and management view of anything is less sustainable. This is actually a traditional way of thinking. The management thinks, oh, we had this product, let's improvise and sell it. I think we can make money or the people will love it. The technical guy, the production guy will come up with an idea and he'll say, let's improvise this. Okay. And I think this feature added will do wonders for us. These are very biased and a single-sided views. Design thinking talks about collaborating everybody in the chain and getting to a platform and then adding value to it. Okay. So that's why a very pure technocentric or management view is usually less sustainable. It might work, but it will not work long. Okay. Aspiring innovators. These guys, and it includes many people. Okay. It includes even you and me. We put down a lot of ideas. We discuss a lot of ideas, but 90%, maybe higher ideas don't even see the day of the light. Forget the day of the light. It don't even go halfway.
They don't even leave the design room.
Yeah, the table, and sometimes they don't leave me. I'm so in love with my idea. Oh, I'm gonna work on this. Oh, it's lovely, but never. And tomorrow morning, I'm already thinking about the next idea, or I have already gone into my daily work. So this is a method. This is an approach, design thinking, which when used can actually help you move step by step forward. And trust me, it's very simple. Okay, and that is what I'm trying to do here. Keep it simple and explain it in the little way that I can in the limited time. Okay, and that is what it is. We need an approach that is powerful, effective, and broadly accessible, right? So we are not doing a Six Sigma here. We are not doing a lean method here. So which has specific steps, and this is how it works, and this is how we follow it. No, this is a very universal way of thinking. Okay, you just have to follow the steps and go to a point from point A where you had an idea to point B where you have something that can be worked upon and offered to the market. Okay, we'll go forward and you'll understand. Design thinking is the answer to that. Myths, okay, very important. Now that I've spoken so high about design thinking, a lot of students, everybody thinks that, okay, fine, now I'm an innovator. Tomorrow morning, I'll take my idea out and there I go. So let me tell you, it's not a miracle, okay? It's not magic. It's just a method, okay? It's not a design that I've already established with you, okay? It's not whims and fancies and fantasies, right? It's not a quick fix. It's a step-by-step process. It's in fact a cyclical process where you go front, you come back, you again go ahead, okay? So you cannot say the jugaad way of, fine, I know it. This is the next step. Let's solve it. It takes time. You have to follow the process, okay? It's not a guarantee of success. Simple example for you all is, we all go to a school, we all go to a college, okay? The college will not say that I will make you a scholar. I will give you a curriculum. I will try my best to shape you up. It's on to you, right? This is what is design thinking. Today, I will give you a little brief. You spend more time within my other webinars. I'll explain to you in details. But even after that, it is your study or your applications in day-to-day things. You'll actually start thinking, design after this. I'm telling you. Okay. Let's go to DT versus traditional approach. This is also an interactive exercise, but here it's a one-way. Let me tell you. Traditionally, we were problem solving, and that was good. All of us, we find a problem. Okay, this is how I want to solve it. Oh, this car is not working. Oh, I know what to do. This is how I'll solve it. Okay. Anything and everything, we jump on to finding the solution. Design thinking is going a step backward. It is problem finding. Boss, let's find out what the problem is, what the real challenge is. Okay. And then get onto the ideas and then define the problem and then solve it. Okay. You'll understand as we go forward. And that is where you'll understand it's about doing the right thing and not about just doing the thing right. Okay. And mostly, I'm telling you, 90% of the people, I've seen it in organizations, I've seen it with clients many a times, they're happy getting the thing right. But it's not a long-term solution. Okay. You need to get to the core of the problem. And that is where you create value.
Mahesh, for this, I would request, could you give us us and the viewers a kind of a small example of problem finding situation and a problem solving situation. I think that will help the viewers visualize it better.
Okay, let me give it a shot. So problem finding and problem solving. I would go back to my retail, arena. So when we design stores or when a customer comes in, okay. So usually the client is looking at having his display of products right in the front for the client, okay, for the customers. They say, okay, when the customer comes in, he has to see the products, he has to shuffle with the products and see all the products. In beauty, I work a lot in beauty. For the women here, I don't know how many are there, but they need to check all the lipsticks and they should have all the shades, or they should have, even for guys, they should have all the skin creams there. And I want to offer them everything. That is how they want to solve the problem of the customer. Okay, but when you actually find out why a person buys a particular skin, it is more about education. When he's told more about how this works for his skin or a shade for her skin tone. Okay, so the idea is to educate more. So that is when we actually started integrating technology and screens into our retail units. So when a product is kept, there is an advertorial or what do you say, artist talking about it, how things work. Now we have gone to RFID. I told I'm moving towards tech also. I've gone into RFID, where you pick a product and then the information starts on the screen. And there are time and again more analytics also to support. If there are AI guys here, I'm telling you that there are tests where there was earlier traditionally, most of the products that are kept on the top shelf get sold easily. Okay, and the bottom ones get sold less. Okay, but on finding that we can educate them and put screens and put videos and put information there, the sales of the products that were placed down and the videos played on top, okay, those product sales have gone high. Okay, is this good enough? I can give more examples, but I think we should move forward. If there's anything, we can come back. Sulaksh?
Yeah, this is, I think the example is pretty clear.
Okay, right.
So we were at value creation plus value capture.
I'll give you one more example. Chalo, maybe people will understand. There's too much beauty. Okay, so seat belt is a very simple one. Okay, but seat belt was a problem that was solved. So safety came in, seat belts came in. Okay, and then people still did not use the safety belt. So people came up with a solution. Okay, isko nikalega. I am assuming everybody understands Hindi here. So we remove the seat belt and there's a beep. Okay.
Yes,
problem solved. Okay, right. But what do you see today? Still many people are okay with the beep. They've got used to it. Okay. And they still go on driving, right? Idiots actually, because seat belts are for our safety. Okay. But nevertheless, now you go to the Jeep Compass and you go for some imported cars. Okay. If you don't put the seat belt, the Jeep Compass model, if you check, if you don't put the seat belt, the handbrake won't go down.
Oh,
now there is a value creation. Yes, yeah. So now I have to put the seat belt and then I lower the handbrake and then I drive the car. So this is really, and it's an excitement need. I will talk about needs later. You feel nice about it, right? Even as a consumer. Oh, wow, this is how it works.
Yeah, it gives you a sense of entitlement.
Yes, entitlement. Yes, that is one of the excitement needs. Today we might not go very deep into that, but it gets covered in my next slides. Okay, so we move forward.
Perfect.
That is where it is. Design is basic principle whose primary function is innovation, and value capture is more about solving techniques. Okay, Lean, Six Sigma, they actually work on analytical basis. You have data, you understand the data. Okay, this is how the consumers buy. These many people come from this area. This is their budget. Okay, this is how we need to innovate. Design thinking goes and finds the users, talks to them, understands their real needs, like P&G did, and then they came out with the mop. Then Netflix came out with some ideas. Apple comes out with shoes that connect to the app. Nike comes out with shoes that connect to the iPod and increase the music levels when you are doing fitness. So it increases the level of music and pushes you to health first. Work out better. That way. I move forward to design thinking as a holistic approach. Right? I've been talking about how design thinking applies everywhere, and it's very simple. be it digital, be it brand, be it service, be it product, and be it business. It's creating value at every point. I'm not talking about here creating the product. After creating the product, there is a next level. After selling, there is another level of servicing, right? Forget product. If you're into service industry, how can I use design thinking to have my customer come, into a bank and create a better experience? He comes in, walks in, goes out. Okay, how can you create apps which have a better service? You check the Cred app. I'm sure a lot of people now are using Cred app. Okay, so the Cred app is, look at the interface, fantastic, very smooth. The user experience is at a very high level. Okay, Spotify actually did design thinking and identified few things that changed only the interface in the app, and people felt that they actually increased the content. Whoever probably interact
Okay.
with me, so it was actually a white app earlier. Okay, Sulaksha and people around, all are there.
Yeah.
It was a white background, and then they discussed, and then there's some design thinking and met people and that, and then they realized they could actually make it black. Okay, and then it was
Black. They
turned to
made it
black,
dark themed.
dark
Yeah.
theme, yes.
Yes.
And people felt that they could browse more easily, and they felt, oh, there is more content now, and actually there was no content added. Okay,
No
it
more
was only a
content.
color,
Okay.
and people
So
got
it's
that feeling.
basically a play because in the dark theme it strains your eyes lesser, and I think people must
Could
be
be
spending
anything. Yeah,
more
yeah,
time
yeah.
on the app.
Right,
That's
right,
interesting.
Sulaksh. Another thing that Spotify did was, you have the list of songs below, even in Ghana and any other apps, and on the top there's a big picture of the title, right, of the screen, the poster of the song or something like that. They had a play button there. Okay, and they they later on realized that the play button is actually not required. You just touch the poster and it starts playing, right? Okay,
Yeah.
and they removed the play button, and the number of songs played went high. There are a lot of things around design thinking, but this analytics cannot tell you. Analytics can tell you the result, what happened after that. Okay, but analytics cannot tell you that you need to change the color. This comes from empathizing. This comes from uh, diving deep into the people's mind and interacting with them. Okay, I move forward. This is a classic example. I love this graph. It is a very simple one. You all can take a screenshot. You all can draw it. Okay. Every business, everything is about desirability, feasibility, and viability. Right? If these three things are doing good, your business is doing good. Your idea is going to work. Your service is going to work. Your training is going to work. Your financing schemes are going to work. Whatever. Okay, and it's a classic graph. You understand, the technology guy will work on feasibility. How can I make it cheaper for my management? Okay, for the business. How can I make it easy to use for the people? Okay, click, click, click. The business guy will say, okay, I have something which is viable, which I can make money with, which people can buy. Okay, but both of these don't exist if people don't desire it. There is a single
Definitely.
line. Yes. Sulaksh, you're saying something?
Yeah, I was basically asking you if you could shed a little more light on the emotional innovation part of this, like you were coming to about the people.
I'll tell you a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But Sulaksh, at the same time, we are halfway and I have not even started the 5 stages. Okay, so
Sure,
I'll
sure.
try to make it
Okay.
quick. Yeah, yeah, right. So I'll give a little bit which makes people understand. Okay, so try and understand. So if there's a single statement, required but not desired. Okay, so a lot of times innovations get killed or they don't last longer because you feel that they're required, but ultimately they have to be desired. Okay, it's an English play of words. You can actually just mull over it later, but that is where design thinking comes into play. Okay, and then the overlap, people and the technology will have a functional innovation, right? So the technology guy will make a camera which is, or a mobile phone which is much more easy to use and there's new functions in it, right? So people have more functions from the technology guy. The technology guy and the business will have a process innovation. So the technology guy, which could be production or something like that, will find ways to make the product cheaper, to make the product faster. I can produce 5,000 a day now. Okay, earlier I could make 3,000. So he's doing process innovations to make things better. Even it applies the same in service. Okay, and the business guy and the people, desirability and viability, is about emotional innovation, what people want to buy. Right? He's already done the design thinking and he's offering now, along with hands in hand with the technology guy, a product that has an emotional connect with people. And all these three put together is experience innovation. Okay, it's very simple. I'm telling you, you just take a screenshot or draw it or Google it. Okay, and just spend some time around it with any product that you see around the house. If you count, I think you will have at least nothing less than 5,000 products in your house. Okay, small things. Every part is design. Okay, so we are halfway, and let's jump to understand what design thinking is. Right, that's what we are here for. Okay, Sulaksh, I move forward. Good to go.
Sure, good to go. So basically, just to let the viewers know, we have 5 processes that Sir is going to talk about in the design thinking process. So he will start with the process number 1. Before that, in case there are any questions that you have until now about the webinar, you can get on the live chat, and we will make sure we will answer as many as we can. Yes, Mahesh, you can go ahead.
Okay, great. So here, guys, we start with the structured method of design thinking. Till now, I was telling you about what is design, what is innovation. I was going all around it to give an idea in a nutshell for you all to be very clear. Now I'm going to do quick run in all the 5 steps. Okay, there are a lot of models and tools that are to be used in every step, but I'm not going to deep dive into them today. Okay, we can have a separate session for that, or let's see. So let's start with empathize. Okay, or rather, I'll just have this slide in between. The 5 steps that you see, okay, these are not consecutive steps. You cannot finish empathize and then go to define and finish that and come to ideate. You cannot say I'm done with defining. Okay, design thinking is a very cyclical process. Okay, so if you understand, if I've just broken it down, okay, the empathy part, which is understanding, observing, POV is point of view. Okay, so you understand the problem there, then you ideate. Okay, then once you have an idea in place, you make a sample of it, you make a prototype of it, and then you test it. Okay, and then you take it out to the market, to the management. Okay, if you are an employee and you have an idea, you want to tell them what it is, the new idea, or you're going for venture capitalists, so you're doing an elevator pitch, you're doing a storytelling, or you're going to, and I'll come to that, we have storytelling separately, and then you pilot it and then create the business model around it, right? And then that's when you launch the product. In these steps, if you see the circles at prototype stage, you might realize that, where the point of view that you had was slightly wrong. So maybe we have to go back and rework on it. Similarly, in understand, you can move forward. We have certain point of views already and come back and do things. So it is a back and forth process. Okay, and you need to keep validating at every stage. I will move back to the process and start with empathize. This is the Stanford D School way of opening up the 5 stages. Okay, give me a sec to have water. All of you all can also have some water if you all want. Yes. And like I said, there are various tools and methods that can be used at every stage to deep dive into it and gather the best data, right? Gather the best insights, understanding people better, understanding the needs better, right? So I start with empathize. What is empathy? I'll explain it very simply. People watch movies, we get emotional, we cry. I cry sometimes. Sulaksh, you cry? Sulaksh, are you there?
Hello, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear me?
I think, I think I had a lot of loss of connection. So yeah, I do, some movies do definitely get me, and on the emotional front, I won't lie.
Right. So empathy is actually nothing but stepping in the other person's shoes. In this case, the user. Okay. We see movies, Chak De, right? Chak De in that last scene where Kabir Singh is the coach and the Australian girl is going to shoot a goal, the penalty shot. And
Penalty,
there this, yes. And there you have the goalkeeper. I forgot her name. Okay. And in his mind, he's saying, oh, this girl is going to hit right, but the leg is on the left, and vice versa. And then he understands that, oh no, she's going to hit in the center. And he looks at the goalkeeper and he says, Ek baar mujhe dekh, right? Whatever. Just for 1 second, just take a glimpse here. And at that moment, we are all with him. We actually want that girl to turn and look at him or me in that moment, right? That is empathizing. And these movie guys do a fantastic job. We empathize with the people they want us to. I'm sure a lot of people have seen Money Heist. You have seen Money Heist?
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty popular with our segment here.
Yes. Yeah. So what is it? It's about stealing. It's about scheming. It's a superb scheming, schemed, well-planned stuff. But the people of Spain empathize with the biggest goons in Spain, right?
That's
Whom
true.
do you empathize with? The bad people,
Bad people.
right?
I'm sure the people in Money Heist must have also used some part of design thinking to come up with this.
I need to study that. I've not checked that, but yeah. But these guys do fantastic jobs. I'm talking about users. Even in our cases, even when you are doing college projects, even when we are doing our businesses, we actually knowingly or unknowingly actually do it. Maybe partially, not so religiously, but we somewhere do it. Okay. So what is empathize? Like I said, understanding what the user actually wants to do. You're stepping into his shoes and experiencing it. Okay. So there are various methods to empathize, and to get data from people. Your interview, shadowing. I will not get into it. I'll go into simple ones. How do we do it? Simple. You observe and listen in context. In context is important, okay? Because if I'm talking about a car and trying to understand details about the car and what he likes about the car, then I will talk in context. How many people are at home? Okay, 5. Maybe he needs a bigger car. 7 people. Okay. You try to understand whether they are from a healthy family. You have a sample set of 100 people and you all see that, Indians average height, average weight. Then accordingly you want to design a car. So you need to go around in the context. And people think something like the diagram shows, feel something, say something, and do something. Even we do that. Okay. A lot of times we don't tell what we really want. Okay. We go sometimes in circles, sometimes we give a direct answer. So it is very important to capture the real answer or the real need. And that is why we usually do this in groups. If you are doing interviews, I'll come to interviews also as a step. We actually do it in threes. So one guy actually will talk to them, put some questions, understand. The other person is trying to see the body language. There's one more person who's trying to make notes. So it always helps to be in twos or threes, when you're trying to understand what he feels, what he's thinking, ultimately what he's saying, and then what does he really do. We already have your data, what cars he's already bought, and then how he really operates the car. Okay.
So having multiple people basically gives you a better sense of understanding from different perspectives.
Yes.
All
Because if
right.
you are only a single person talking, you'll miss out a lot of points. So if you're
That's
really
true.
doing some good research, it helps. Okay.
Perfect.
Immerse yourself. Sudhir Venkatesh is a writer. Okay, he wrote a book called Gang Leader for a Day. Okay, it's still available, I think, on Amazon. Now, for writing that book, it's based in. I think it is based. I have not read the book, but I've heard about it. It's based out of on the grounds of African mafia and all. Okay, Gang Leader for a Day. So to write the book, he actually went there and stayed for a year. Okay, he was immersing himself, right, to really get onto an understanding to write the book more precisely and with the real feel. Again, movie buffs, everybody. Today we have a lot of method actors. We have Uri. Everybody has seen Uri, right? Vicky
Right.
Kaushal, right? Sulaksh, right? You have seen Uri?
Yeah, I have seen Uri.
Right. So Uri and some Kangana Ranaut movies and all I see. So these guys, what do? They actually immerse themselves. They actually go and live that life for some days, and they understand the character, and then they come back and act. Right? They immerse themselves. Okay. So let's make a research plan. I'm making it all short. I'm so sorry, people, but so there are a few research methods. You already have certain knowledge about your people. You identify a sample set, and you make a team of 3, like I said, and then you use one of these methods to do your research, to gather data, to empathize with your users, and get valid information, get good information to move to the next step. Okay, I'm not getting into these details of the methods. We can discuss it some other time. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Before I move to the next step, extreme users. These guys are my favorites. Okay. And amazing guys. Amazing guys in the sense. Okay. Extreme users, my people here are people who are actually not your direct consumers. Okay. They are actually the jugaad guys who do hacks around your product and use your product for something else. Okay.
They figure out new use cases that probably you won't have known.
Yes. And though they are not my direct customers, in some cases, they also give us good insights where you could probably value add a little and keep them in mind or get new, more innovation ideas. And still they can make a 5%, in some cases, even 10% contribution to my sales. Okay. I'll tell you an example. What is this? Sulaksh, washing machine.
This is a dirty washing machine, I would say.
Okay, this is, yeah, a lot of people from the north, right? This is a washing machine in a dhaba where they are making lassi.
Are you serious? They
Yes,
make
you can
it
check it a
inside
lot.
the washing machine. Okay, because of the
Quantum.
rotation.
Yeah, because of the quantum, right? How do you make 100 liters? I don't know what is the capacity is,
I think
150.
this photo can go up as the poster image for Jugaad in
Yes,
our
Jugaad. Yeah, these guys are Jugaads. In Indian terms, yes, Jugaads. There are many more other ideas also, but I will discuss a few here today. Extremists are fantastic, and I like these categories of people. It's always fun to identify them also. Okay, next, more related to the subject, I will keep it. I have many more Jugaad ideas also. Twitter. Okay, the hashtag in Twitter was actually not founded by the founder. Okay, after they launched
Okay.
it, there were some customers who actually used the hashtag to highlight what they were talking. And then the founder realized that it is a good way actually to tag, and that is why he incorporated it in the mainstream.
So it's kind of building up a new tool into your product or a new feature based on customer feedback.
Right.
That's
Yeah. So
basically what
it's
they did.
right. So you got insights from somebody else only, which was not in your list, right? After you launched the product, after you launched the beta version, right? You never thought of it. See, I'm talking about you never thought of it when you started it, right? Facebook groups. Okay, Facebook groups was not a part of the initial offering. When Facebook got launched, after some, after certain period, I'm sure Zuckerberg or his team, whoever, identified that people have started creating groups and using it to their advantage. They started making business out of it, and that is where Facebook thought groups was a very important tool in their app, in their interface. Okay, in their product. So basically, my point is that you're getting insights from a new set of people who are not there or existing or were beyond your purview in the first place. Okay. There are other weird examples which are better off to understand extreme users. But for now, we'll call it off here. I'm sure people have understood extreme users.
I'm sure this was pretty clear. Extreme
Right.
users. I'm sure some of us are also extreme users for very different types of products. We
Yes.
probably don't realize it.
Yes, right. And in fact, in my other presentation, the longer one, I usually take, like I told you, it's a 4 hour or 5 hour session that I do to understand, explain very. There are other cases where the extreme user has actually come out with a solution that later on went to be applied to everyone.
Oh,
Okay.
that's nice.
So it is reverse, so that's why these insights are important. Okay.
Definitely.
Great. So let's move forward. Biases. I'm not going to get into bias, but biases are important. We are biased, and the people that we are interviewing and researching are also biased. Everybody has their own biases, and we have to be very careful about them. We have to beware about them because biases fool us to take wrong decisions. Okay.
Good.
These are 4 biases. I will not explain them, or we're not watching videos now. But self-serving bias is basically that I am always right. Okay, if there's a if I have a girlfriend and if I have the girl liking me, she likes me because I'm smart. Okay, and then if she says no, she doesn't like me because she's an idiot. So ultimately I'm right. Okay, that's a self-serving bias, and then that's a very uh, college example I gave. Okay.
Yeah, very inline example.
Yes, sunk cost fallacy is also like that. Okay, sunk cost fallacy, there are 2 3 examples. Again, I'll go back to the girl and the boy. Sometimes we stick on to a relationship because we feel that we have spent enough time in it, we need to go on and on and on. But sunk cost fallacy is that is what we do in business. Sometimes we go so on with that idea, even though it's going to ultimately go in a loss. It's good to cut off early because we believe in it. We just go on because we think, oh, already we have spent so much time with the girl, so much in money has gone, I don't know. So it's better to continue the relationship. Same with the idea or the business. That's a sunk cost fallacy. I'm not going to get into detail. My point here is there is a model for biases, not really a model, but biases we have to take care while researching people and while also forming our opinions from the data that we have gathered. Okay.
All right.
After having this data crisp and clear, we have gathered it. We have a lot of information from people now. We are trying to identify a need, a challenge that they pose. So that is where we move now. We go to a single statement to define the problem. Okay. And in design thinking, what do we do? In analytics, in AI, the traditional method, we make a list. We'll probably make an Excel sheet is the easiest way, is the basic way. We put down all the data and make some matrices and gather that data and try to find a solution out of it. Okay. Not a solution, but define the problem out of it. Okay, this data works like this. So I feel this is what is missing. That is an analytical way of looking. Okay, but in design thinking, it's a mix. We synthesize. What is synthesis? Synthesis is basically understanding the situation as a whole, the whole point of view. I'll explain how to synthesize. Sulaksh, I'll need your help. People, guys, I want quick answer. What does this girl need? Right, we are talking about needs.
Okay.
Sulaksh, help
Okay,
me
so
with
we give the chat 10-15 seconds, and
Yes.
we guys just answer the question asked by sir. What does this girl need?
Yes, a quick one.
I'm looking at the chat.
You tell me. I'm not looking at my phone.
Okay, so we have pitched the question. Chat is saying she needs a desired book, or
Okay.
someone said a history book.
Yeah.
Someone
Just give
said
me the common answers. Yeah.
someone said she wants to get higher. That's funny. The people are saying she wants a ladder, but the common answer that I think the chat has said is that she wants a book that she needs, a desired book or a
Right.
specific book that she's looking for.
Right. That's the common answer, and that is how it usually is, right? See, so
People are also mentioning that the book that she has her hand on is a red book, so maybe she needs some kind of a red colored book.
Right. Now that's good. That's good. So you are observing it right. History, you all are observing right. You all are good analytical guys who have done analysis basis on the information that I have provided. Okay. What if there was more information to this? Now, if you really ask me, that girl looks like a 3-year-old. Okay, 3-year-old, maybe 4-year-old. What is she really doing in this section where there is a biography and there's a history section, and then she's trying to get a history book? Okay, nothing really matches here. So that is where POV comes into play. The point of view is very important. So let's synthesize instead of doing analysis. So if I was to tell you that if this girl is actually in a principal's room where her parents are with her elder brother talking about his admissions, and that is why they are busy talking about him, and she was just left on the side, and then this picture. Now your answer would be, let's not go into the chat, we'll spend some time, but I'm sure everybody can think for themselves. Now the answer would be, oh, so she wanted to actually get attention, so then
a couple of people have mentioned this on the chat that she's looking to keep herself busy.
Yes, right. So then synthesizing gives a solution. So what if I was identify the need, what would I find the solution as? I would keep stools there, or I would keep the books below. That would be my solution, right? But if I synthesize, now I will keep some things that will keep her engaged. I will keep a maushi in that room. I will keep a play area in that room, a small play zone, right? For customers or for people or parents who come like that and have siblings, right? That would be the solution. The solution has changed because I synthesized with the data, overall data. Okay? I'll keep this to. Okay. So now we will move to needs. There's a Kano model. You can Google it also, or we can discuss it later. It's a fantastic, very simple model to understand needs. So once we have reached this stage, we need to identify the right needs to get to for defining the problem. Where do we need to innovate? And the needs are very simple: primary, performance, and excitement needs. I'll give you a quick example. I'm not going to go into the graphs and all. It's a model where, you have basic needs, which are primary needs. If you go to a restaurant, okay, primary need is there is a table. Probably it's a clean table. There are 4 chairs or number of chairs. There are glasses. There is a menu kept. Basic needs. You go to a restaurant, AC hai. We need this. Without this, I will not rate the restaurant. I will not go back there. Okay. Performance needs. When I go there, the waiter comes fast. Maybe within a minute, he offers the menu. He pours water. Okay, and asks what will we have. Performance need. I order the food. Usually it takes 15 minutes. It always comes in 15 minutes. That's the performance level kept. Okay. Excitement need. At the end of it, he offers you a dessert, which is not billed to you. He offers you a discount. Okay. Okay. He introduces some music session at the end of it. There's a live band happening, which was not announced earlier. So you are happy to be there. Okay. In a car, primary need is you need to drive the car. It has to work smoothly. The gears have to go smoothly, comfortable, whatever you wanted in the basics of a car. Performance needs, they had already told you that it works at a particular, it gives you a particular average. Okay. Servicing is after so and so long. Okay, great. Excitement needs are those features which beat the earlier needs and are giving you more than what you expected. In the car, maybe you'd never thought about it, but in this car, when you rolled up the windows, it was zero, not zero, it was total silence. You couldn't hear anything from the outside world. Okay. And this you realized it was not
that's basically bonus features and
yes, excitement needs. And that is where, and then the model also talks about, I'm spending a little more time because people understand over a period of time, excitement drops to performance drops to basic or primary. Okay. If they start giving you free desserts every time and they start giving everybody the dessert, it is no more an excitement need. Next time you want more.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. So that is why you need to innovate. You cannot say, I have an excitement need now, which I'm satisfying. My product is going to go on and rocking, and I don't have to think about it again. No innovation happening for this year. No. It will soon come up. You will do it. Customers will get used to it. Competition will come up. You need to keep moving ahead. Okay. So what happens is after defining, at the end of it, we actually create a design challenge, and which is HMW. I'm not getting into it. It is how might we. We set up a design statement is how might we make the car better, example, or make the restaurant better. Okay, since I gave you this example. Okay, how can we make the car sunroof feature better? Very specific. Okay, and then we go to ideate, where we actually, it's more about ideas and ideas and ideas. It's very simple. There is no two ways about it. If you want to have good ideas, you must have many ideas. At this stage, we have actually checked on what people really need. We have defined it, reframed it, and got onto a challenge statement. And now we want to get ideas for that statement, right? Mind you, we are still not jumping to solution. Okay, we are finding different ways to solve the problem. Okay, we are not jumping onto a fixed solution. So at this stage, you cannot be cutting down on ideas. You just go chaotic. If it's a team of 5, trust me, today, I don't know how many people are there. Each one, 10 ideas into the number of people. Set a target. Okay. Here, how to ideate? Defer judgment. No bad ideas, no shitty ideas. Every idea is an idea. Okay. I'm telling you simple. According to me, I have not researched this, but now we have inflates for people, when there's a fire, people jump out into the net, right, Sulaksh? Into a net, into an inflate.
Inflatable.
Yes, inflatable, right. I think the idea must have come from such a thing where people have said, if there's a fire, I want to jump out of the window.
Yeah, okay. So that's the mission statement, and then someone must have
jumped on that idea. Yes, that is what is it? Encourage wild ideas. You have to be chaotic. Go on and on. This is a madhouse. This is a fun part. Okay, when you're sitting in teams and generating ideas. But this is important. Stay focused on the topic. There are some do's and don'ts for ideation. I'm not covering those today. But you have to stay focused on the topic because you're running your, wild horses and go in every direction. It's very important to stay on the topic. And it's one conversation at a time, very simple. In a lot of our sessions, what we do is we give a magic wand. You can make it fun, okay, or a pencil in the hand. And whoever wants to talk can raise their hand.
They can raise their, okay. So it goes turn by turn, not everyone.
Not turn by turn, but where whoever has an idea puts up the finger and then talks. Like you raise a hand in the chat, right? In the
Got
Zoom
it.
chat, you raise a hand. Yeah, one conversation at a time. Be visual, very important. This we have not covered in the initial session because today's session is small. We do a small exercise about being visual also, which is actually just making a drawing or I'll give you an example. Let's do that. Today, everywhere we are checking about COVID. Okay, everywhere we go into. Otherwise, we went to a mall. Most of the directions and the signages are in visuals. No smoking is a visual.
That's
Okay, there is a text. No parking is a visual. Wear your mask is simple, boss. No need to show a visual, but they show a visual because that communicates more strongly. Okay, that explains it more easily. Okay, headline your idea. A lot of times, ideas go into paragraphs. You go on, and I'm thinking we could do like this, but then we, it goes on and on. It's better to headline an idea. Okay, always give a nice peppy name to that idea. I remember from this headliner idea, I used to make designs, again going to retail, and I made a design to keep lipsticks in the shape of girls will understand. I don't know, sorry for the guys. I made a step system for the lipsticks to be kept on the table. Okay, a new range. And then it looked somehow the design shaped up like a stiletto. Stiletto is the
oh
nice
yeah,
high heel,
it's high heel.
yeah, high heel that the women's wear, and it was like this step, and it looked really fancy and nice. The design that I made. So I named it the stiletto unit. The stiletto glorifier for the products. So those kind of headlining your ideas. Okay, go for quantity, like I said, and then set an outrageous goal. I told you all. If we have 5 people sitting here on that idea, tomorrow we're discussing, I think I can give 10 ideas. Okay, 10 into 5, 50. Let's target 61. Let's target 65 and go for it. Now, after that, what we do is all the ideas we usually do, post-its are a good way to do it. I usually have those slides also. And you put that down and then you all vote for things, you dilly-dally on it and choose the final 3 ones. Okay. And then move forward, refine them and move to prototype. What is a prototype? Prototype is a mock. Okay. Very simple mock. Prototyping allows us to fail early so we can succeed sooner. You make a mock-up. For people to understand, maybe prototype need not be a physical prototype. Okay, if I was to make a building,
that's what I was coming to. Like,
yeah,
I mean, different type of products would have different type of concepts for prototype.
Yes. A prototype for a banking service, like I said, I was referring to that, would be a mock drill. I will have people standing and then you have to do this action and then how you see smoothly, seamless it works. That's a prototype, right? It's a mock drill. Okay. Prototype for a building. I'm making a fantastic Burj Khalifa. I will make a blueprints and I will make 3D model. And that is a stage 1 prototype. Work back, test it again. Then I make a physical small model, right? And then I get into the real thing. Same thing for car. You have engineering softwares now, right? Those are nothing but a part of prototyping. Okay, to get it right there and then move to the final production. Okay, that is prototyping. And how do we do it? We make it rough to inspire. So see, we are currently at very nascent stage of ideation and all. So this is where actually you can. I'm going deep into it, which I usually do. We are already at 5. I hope people are enjoying it.
No, I'm sure they are. Yeah. They will love to take any information that they can get.
Yeah. So it has to be rough to inspire. So if I'll show you some other videos some other time. You can actually take clay and other things and markers and all that stuff and make for the first prototype. It has to be rough to inspire because it's the next level. I have something in my hand from where I see the next step. Okay. And then from there I move on, I improvise on it. That is what is a prototype. If you see a picture in my slide behind, they're actually trying to make, I don't know what it is, but according to me, they were trying to show probably how we can make a silicone gun. So this will be the shaft, this will be where the content will be, this is how I will use it. This is more or less the shape that I'm talking. Then they again work on it. That's the first level prototype. Okay. Yeah, it's built to think. It is, you embrace failure. There's no problem. We are expecting some problems in it. It has to be just good enough to convert your idea into a better understanding. Okay. Rapid to evolve. We keep evolving. We keep making changes. We take feedback. Okay. See this. I'm trying to make an app. Okay. This is how is the first. So instead of actually penning it down in points, okay, we make POCs, right? We make concept notes, right? Instead of that, a visually workable prototype is better for the whole team to discuss. And why I say this is important, because design thinking is taking everybody on the same platform, right? So when you're innovating, you will have, if you are innovating in a car, you have the engineer with you, you have the sales guy with you, you have the user maybe with you, you are there who's the moderator, you have some designers. So something like this is easy to move forward. Okay. This is the step process. Yeah. So you draw, this is how it will go. The next page will come, you slide, then this happens. It's a better way to represent and to analyze and move forward. Why do you prototype? To gain empathy, because we get a deeper understanding now. We are one step forward. Okay. Explore, build to think. I could add a one-liner in this is, somebody in one of our community, we have a design community, right? I belong to a SGTP, Society of Design Thinking Professionals. So we are a few practitioners. And he said once that, if you're going to Goa, you start driving, you can only see the first 300 meters or 500 meters, right? You won't see Goa. Okay. You cover the first 300, 500 meters, and from there you'll see the next 300, 500 meters, right?
That's true.
So that's how you build the prototype and you move forward. Okay, it's a very generic one, but I depending on the kind of audience I have, I think it will relate. Okay, so you build to think. Okay, inspire, catalyze inspiration, because once you have something in your hand, oh wow, okay, now this is how it is looking. I think this will add and it will look better. Okay, and you test. So once you have a prototype, you go back to the users, your sample set, 5 people or 50 people, whatever you have decided, and you test with them. That's the next step, basically. Why do you prototype? This is a very simple graph. You prototype early, you prototype often, you fail often, but you succeed faster. And that is what agile is. That is what sprint is. Facebook is doing, Google is doing. You can study a little about it. But then again, those are more focused on the way to solve a problem. Design thinking is a more holistic approach and can be applied everywhere. Okay, what is prototype early? If I have to talk about the left graph, the cost of error is less because you are making rough prototypes and you're not really directly jumping onto making the final piece. A lot of times people do it. Okay, people make a product and then they launch it, and once they fail, that cost is huge. Okay, and the recovery time goes for a toss, so then you're not even able to come out with the next version. Why do all the apps have a beta version, right? And before beta, I'm sure there are other versions which they test internally.
Definitely.
Right. So the cost of error is there. So you make something, you test it. Okay. So that's how the cost of error and project timeline graph is there, which reduces the time and low cost. Okay. On the right hand side is the risk. If you don't have many cycles of testing, your risk on that project is higher. When I say project, it is the prototype. I'm talking about the product, the service, your innovation.
It could be anything.
Anything,
an app or a service.
Anything. Right. And trust me, DT can be used for social impacts also. Okay, I'm working on a project where I'm talking about reducing smoking habits and to create something around how to give them some gratification wherein they can leave their one cigarette. So I cannot wait to come out with the best idea and the best platform for it. So I'm trying to test it. Okay, already. So even for social impacts, we use design thinking. Okay. Moving forward, we have already clocked the time. Let's move. Testing. Testing is very simple. Now you must have understood. Share your solution and get feedback. You see what worked, what did not work, what could be improved. You ask questions, more and more questions, what they did not like, why they did not like. And you also get some insights from them. I did not like this because I think, this feature would work better this way. I think a black background for Spotify would be better. Oh, okay. Then let's try Spotify in black background. Okay. You got ideas. That's it. So if you understand the design thinking cycle, we have actually just scratched and not dive deep on all the stages. And I've tried to make the best out of it.
The iceberg, as they say.
Yeah, because even it's 1 hour, I was told it's only 1 hour, so I tried to make it concise, but it was important that people understand the whole process at least. So I went fast through them. So this is the design thinking process where you actually have a prototype at the end. Okay, which now suppose you are working somewhere, you want to show it to the management, you are otherwise an innovator, or you have an idea and you are going for a pitch. Okay, what do? You need to create a story. You just cannot go and give this, and you have to build a story around what you're doing, and you have to apply the golden circle. What is this? Shark Tank, right? A lot of people have seen Shark Tank, right, Sulaksh?
Yeah, I have seen Shark Tank. One of
Right.
my
So
favorite
what?
shows.
So this guy could have come in and spoken about his idea, probably shown a video and walked out. Okay, he's talking about some firefighting tool. Okay, in the kitchen maybe. So what has he done? He's created a scene.
Yeah,
He's
he's
wearing.
created a mini kitchen, and I'm assuming he's gonna show a situation wherein his product can be used.
Yes, and he's wearing that fire guy's helmet and whatnot, right?
Like you said, it's visualization that's helping him sell his product.
Yes, it's storytelling. If we've seen other episodes also where people are talking about beach wear, they actually create a scene of a beach, right? They actually come in shorts. Okay, I'm not asking people here to go in shorts, but
Hmm.
it's about storytelling. And I'll tell you how. It's a simple golden circle. What, how, and why. This has to come out in a story. What is your idea? What are you offering? Okay, how are you going to do it? And why will people buy it? It depends on which perspective you are looking at. The what and the hows and the whys change, but you have to answer these three things when you're telling your management, when you're telling the investor. Okay, I'm not going to get into storytelling deep, we have overshot the time, but this is usually like a graph, like an elevator pitch that we usually discuss, 0 to 3 minutes. Okay, the what, how, and the why, and how as you go forward, how the emotion is more important when you're explaining something, and so on and so forth. I'm not getting into details. So now after this, there is another tool also. I'll explain to you all. So basically, if you have successfully managed to run the product service on the above parameters, we would have a high probability of having innovated a winner. Okay, guys, we all have a winner. And when I say the above parameters, I have skipped a lot of parameters because that was getting into details. That is what is here. I'm just mentioning it to you so that you know what more to expect. If ever I'm going to tell you about my more webinars and you all could attend. This is what I did not cover that goes into a regular 4 or 5 hour webinar. How to set a design challenge. What type of a design thinker are you? We can do an exercise where you can identify what type of a design
Okay,
thinker
so
are you.
different types of like different personalities have different ways of
Yes, yes. And it's important to know because when you're sitting in a team, you all will be five. And it helps to know what type of design thinker each one is. And that brings more value to the table. It also helps to moderate the situation better. Okay, then there are design thinking mindsets that you have to follow. Okay. What is simple invention, innovation, and creativity? The difference. This is a very simple exercise that we do. Creative confidence versus artistic ability activity we do. It's a very simple exercise. It's a fun exercise, but that is where we show people that they are actually creative. And then comes the research methods, the Kano model, the biases, the storytelling in little bit in detail, more detail, the RWW tool, which is the real worth and winning. Okay, because now that you have a prototype that you are very confident about, you need to market it, right? You need to move from your 50 sample set and 500 sample set to 5,000 people. You need to take it to the next level. So use an RWW tool. And apart from that, there are a lot of videos which explain the concept and case studies that we do in the session. Okay, that is it from me.
Okay.
If you're
Mahesh,
okay.
can I request you for 5 to 7 minutes of open Q&A session? So we'll just ask the chat to give in some questions and we can answer them one by one. I have a couple questions with me to start.
Okay, so before that, I'll tell you what, because I'm going to end this. I will just tell people about SGTP a little because they need to know where to find me next. Okay,
Sure, sure, sure.
if some of you all have liked it, you'll need to find me next. Okay, so these are my details. Okay, and SGTP is actually a society of design thinking professionals, and we encourage people. We have a lot of students actually who attend our webinars and they get certified. Like I said, it's always better to have more weapons in a war rather than just to be brave, right? So it helps. Okay, so we do this same webinar in detail, and at the end of the webinar, we actually give you a certificate of completion. Okay, that is the link here for 999. And is it possible for you to copy paste Sulaksh? No.
Not right now, but you can share the image
I
of
can
me.
put it in the Google chat.
Yeah, you can put in the Google chat and we'll definitely share it with all of the viewers.
Okay. And then there's a certified DT specialist, which is for 4999. The value is actually a special offer because when we do sessions and webinars, we offer it at 4999. If you go to the website, it's actually 7999. So these are special offers for people who attend. And for specialists, we actually give them our data okay, in terms of videos, reinforcement videos and all. And if there are specialists, they can actually start their, after learning and doing some projects, they can actually start teaching also. Okay, in terms of schools, depending on levels, they can start their own webinars. And Saturday is my next session. Okay, if people want to attend, it's on 23rd May, 12 to 6. We include the lunch break in between. We'll probably at 1:30 we'll take a small lunch break and
Oh,
continue.
that's thoughtful.
What is thoughtful? The lunch part.
The lunch part, like, because we forget that in this scenario, we still need some breaks in life.
Yeah, so I'll just wait. I'll just copy paste and then go back there because I'm gonna.
Sure.
These
So,
are the kind of
meanwhile,
videos.
I would like to start with some questions that we've been receiving. So, in case if that's okay with you.
Yes, we can do it quick. It's a 5:10.
Sure.
Yes, okay. I have
So
something to attend at 6
Ankit
o'clock.
Tripathi has a question. This question he had asked at the time when we were discussing the human-centric approach. So he's basically asked, is it a customer-centric approach that we should go for, or a human-centric approach, and what will be the difference between a human and a customer-centric? So, do we go by a basic human being, or do we specifically note it down to just the kind of customer that we are willing to target?
Yeah, in our case, when we are talking about, we're actually talking about the customer. It's human-centric approach is more like a broader term and gives the human touch to it. Okay, as a word.
Okay.
But if you ask me personally, I would still try to stick to human-centric because I give you a classic example where there are extreme users. So in that case, he was actually not my customer.
Okay.
Right. So then let's not be very rigid about classifications. Otherwise, sometimes we miss out on the new avenues while thinking, right? So it is customer because you have to be like, if you are doing a car, of course, you will try to do cars. But I'm telling you human, why human? Because you will actually interview few whys also because they are the next users, if let's assume about a feature that we're talking, okay, then you will and you will not necessarily come up with the data of existing cars bought by women only. It's actually the women in the house who will also drive for maybe 1 hour a week, but it matters for your innovation, right? Okay.
Okay, perfect. I think Ankit has got his answer. So another question we have from there's no name to the user. It says VR. So he's basically asked. So basically, feasibility and viability depends upon desirability. So I think this is the Venn diagram that we were discussing.
No. Okay. No. It doesn't depend. See, if you see Venn diagram is actually always, there are 3 sets and then subsets. And I don't know if you remember maths. It's been ages that I did Venn diagrams. But there's an overlap, which means the remaining part is actually independent. It's only the overlap that is there. Otherwise, see, what is viability?
You can say it's codependent, but not entirely dependent.
Yeah. And a very less, see, you can actually pull out in totality, there are 3 functions, right? So viability, let's talk about viability. What is viability? And I can explain this in the session if you attend VR, because in the RWW tool, we talk about viability of the idea. So viability is, can I produce it? Okay, can I get all the parts in India or do I have to import them? Can I match the price that customer is expecting? So these are viable problems, right? That he has a setup, he has machines, or depend. If it's a product, if it's a service, do I have the infrastructure to do it? So these are the word viable. It's as simple as that. Okay. In that, there's an overlap where I should consider desirability and think about the viable solutions, right? That's how it is. So they are independent, but getting them together is the common factor.
So you have to find the right balance, but it's not completely dependent on those factors. Individuality is also there within these 3.
Yeah. So see, some products can simply work on viability. They don't need desirability. I don't know. It's like maybe a simple thing, which is like a pencil, which people want. Of course, there is a desirability, but if somebody is just tomorrow thinking of changing the color of the pencil and producing it, he'll say, yeah, this is viable. Reds have sold, greens have sold, so yellows will sell. So it's not really getting into that that way. So they are in.
I hope you've got your answer. We have a very interesting question from Shubham Ramesh Kumar. He says, can you give an example where I can relate design thinking with finance?
With finance, are you talking about digital payments or are you talking about finance in terms of investments?
I think finance, I would say in terms of
banking.
commerce students and banking perspective. like in the career in finance, how can design thinking help this individual probably use those processes into his career in finance?
Understood. So okay, I will not. I could give you an example, or let's keep it that way. What is finance? Okay, finance is moving the money from the source to somebody who needs it, and vice versa. And there are entities in between. So be it the or you're in share market. Okay, now everywhere there is a user at the bottom. Like I showed you a lot of it. Be it digitally, be it a real bank, or be it a loans or a finance company, I don't know, many, or insurance, right? Okay. So in that, the moment you have a user, you have certain expectations from what you're offering him. In finance, if you're in insurance, if you're an actuarial, okay, who actually devises the pension plans and the method how to create insurance method, okay, or you're a banker. No, this will go too broad, so let's not go in all that. Let's stick to the basics. There will be a user who will need your money, okay, or who will deposit the money. That's finance, right? In literal terms. Now, in that whole process of getting the money or giving the money, be it on the phone or be it physically or be it a process-driven thing where there are middlemen and your branches, okay, everywhere there are touch points where human interface is involved. Okay, in those processes, you can apply design thinking on how to make those systems better. I'll tell you what. Let's go to a bank. I see this crowd. See, people came out with the token system. Still, you see crowds. Still, you see people fighting. Okay, and there are many problems when it comes to banking. I want to go to bank on a Saturday when my kids are home and I don't have office hours. So I need the bank to be open on the my desire is that the bank is open from till late on a Saturday, right? So there are various needs that can be gathered, and to help you streamline the process, if once you gather a need which is very universal, you will try to solve it.
So
Same
I
thing
think
with
what we're getting at is that the main concept, which is POV of the user, it remains similar across different industries, whether it's finance or whether it's like core design.
yeah. So there are users, and जब तक users रहेंगे, needs रहेंगे, जब तक needs रहेंगे, innovation का जरूरत है. It can be in any form. और जब तक innovation रहेगा, design thinking apply हो सकता है in Hindi. Okay.
Perfect. So we have another question. Simran Kumari is asking that, sir, can you please explain how a tobacco company, mainly cigarette company, comes up with design and thinking? So she basically probably wants to know a little bit more about your time with the. You mentioned that you were working with a tobacco company. So
Right. So see, for a tobacco company, 3-4 things. So design thinking can be applied in all zones of even banking. For that, my answer now will answer banking also. So the organization is admin department, finance department. Okay. So there are a lot of training sessions on design thinking because at every level they have their own sets of challenges which can be improvised. Okay. For a cigarette company, there is. Let's come to the product. So while designing the product, there can be empathy. Okay. It's a very bad. I smoke, by the way, but it's not the best examples to give, but to empathize with smokers and understand their habits and to understand how long the cigarette takes and when do they smoke mostly, right? Even in fact, it's interesting, Simran, right? You said I was actually working on a project for cigarette packaging, okay, and there is design thinking in that because the packaging is not very good. You know what kind of packaging you get, right? So there was
plus
some
I'm sure
thoughts
there are a
about.
lot of government restrictions on that. That a certain percentage of the packaging should have the warning label
Yes,
and
yes,
things
yes,
like
yes.
that.
So we were, yeah. So I had an idea with a team and we are still actually, it is an open project. Okay. So we are doing some design thinking in that. Then I'll tell you where design thinking can come in from the cigarette angle. I'll tell you mine also. Okay. But apart from that, people smoke how they buy it at the cigarette pan patti in twos, in fours, or in packets where they throw the cigarette. Okay, so there's another social impact angle for this company where they could actually I have designed a pan patti, okay, wherein on the side there was a bin, okay, an ash bin, okay. Then there was a method to dispense single because I did not want the cigarette guy to pull it out with his hand, his fingers. You know how do they give singles? They pull it out, right?
That's true.
So I did not want him to touch it. Okay. So I was thinking on ideas to
Okay.
design it where I could actually
Design a
push.
way where he could.
Yeah, so
Like,
this is the customer point of view. Then similar, we can actually talk to the admin department, solve a problem there, the finance department, the production, you can solve problems in the production work, the workshop place, the manufacturing setup, how to streamline the process better, So design thinking applies everywhere in all parts. Okay.
got
Are
it,
we
got
good
it.
to go?
Simran, I hope you got your answer. We just have one last question
Okay,
before
let's make
we
it last. Yeah.
free you up. And so, Sandeep Singh wants to know some examples of, I think you mentioned RWW tools in your while you were explaining.
Right. So no
Did I get
example.
that right?
Sorry. Yeah. Complete the
So
question.
yes, he
Yes.
wants to know a couple examples of what kind of tools are used for that process, and if he wants
Sandeep,
to get
right?
it. Yes.
Yeah, Sandeep, you need to attend my webinar on Saturday. RWW tool
Okay, right.
is basically, is it real? Is it worth it? And is it winnable? Okay. And then there's a checklist and which we can find out and validate whether so-called prototype and tested idea can be scaled up now. Am I ready for the world? Okay. That's what it is. But we can discuss this later
Okay.
because I'll honestly tell all of you all. Okay. It is up to you. You don't need to take a certification, not. But like I told you, it's always helpful to have an extra weapon. But you cannot learn design thinking in 1 hour. Okay. Trust me.
No,
This
that's
is.
true.
I'm happy that I succeeded in this challenge given to myself of doing this in 1 hour. But usually I take this as a session for 2 days, 3 hours each, or one day, 4 to 5 hours. Number one. Number two, after that, we actually give in this completion and a specialist, we give you a small test so that you actually, and it's a very simple test. If you have understood the basics right, you pass the test. And after that, we give you a lot of videos, lot of links for you to mull over them, to go through them again, and then you can actually take up a project, okay, and then put design thinking to it. You can pick up anything. I can put up a design thinking project in my house tomorrow, how to solve, how I can best time and finish the bartans fast. Okay, nowadays everybody's doing that.
That's true.
Okay,
So
so
everyone having the same issue.
yeah. So I'm a retail designer. No? My wife keeps taking pictures because I do the bartans and I always arrange them in a very nice pattern. I don't know what is it. Always arrange them. The plates are in a line and so on and so forth. Let's not go get into that. So I try to make the most out of the time I'm doing in the kitchen. So anyways, I think questions are done. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I will end it on a. Before Sulaksh will wrap it up, of course, but from my side, I will end it with saying that, I usually start my sessions with a forward that I got some days back, that during this lockdown, if you haven't come out with a new skill, okay, if you haven't come out with a new skill, more knowledge or better fitness, then you never really had a problem of time. Okay, you had a problem of attitude.
Motivation and
Motivation
attitude,
and
I
attitude, yes. Okay.
think.
So try to make the most out of it, learn more. I think design thinking, like, in fact, Sulaksh, I told you earlier, I thought I was going to address a totally AI fraternity. So in fact, I studied AI for last 3 days, a little bit more about AI.
Okay.
And then I had made the PPT. I removed a few slides because I thought I'll make it more generic. So it applies everywhere. Okay. We have some webinars. I had a scientist attend, you know, he's actually, and there's a guy who made a black box. He makes black boxes for aeroplanes. Okay, he attended
Okay,
in my last session.
that's interesting.
A lot of students attend. So, and these guys take this because you take it and you start. See, I'll tell you, understand. Let's understand a world where everybody understands this basic fundas. Will it not be easy to move in teams, to create new ideas, to create more impact, right? Social impact, innovation impact.
Everybody is on a similar wavelength, then it becomes easier for teams to operate.
Yeah, commercial impact. Nice.
Especially in a time like this where we are being forced to operate remotely with each other. So I think being in tandem with all our concepts will actually help teams to function better across this remote environment that we've created.
Right. And then I think it was nice meeting you all. Anything you want to say, Sulaksh, before we
Uh,
call it
Thank you
off?
so much, Mahesh, for joining us. I am personally a bit of a design enthusiast myself, so I had a lot of fun
Okay.
listening to you. Guys, if you want to check out more content by Mahesh, he's already mentioned you can join him for a webinar on Saturday. And I know some of you had a couple of questions that we weren't able to answer because of time constraints. So I I assure you that if you head on to my webinar, you will definitely get all your questions answered. And I hope you guys had fun. Stick around for 5 minutes after the session stream has ended so that we can get your certifications and everything, like everything processed fairly. Thank you so much for joining, guys, and thank you, Mahesh. I hope you have a nice day.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.